We interrupt this program with a special bulletin. America is now under martial law. All constitutional rights have been suspended. Stay in your homes. Do not attempt to contact loved ones, insurance agents, or attorneys. Shut up. Do not attempt to think, or depression may occur. Stay in your homes. Curfew is at 7 p.m. sharp after work. Anyone caught outside the gates of their subdivision sectors after curfew will be shot. Remain calm. Do not panic. Your neighborhood watch officer will be by to collect urine samples in the morning. Anyone caught interfering with the collection of urine samples will be shot. Houses will be inspected for trace elements at noon. Anyone who fails to display the required embossed black velvet Mexican painting of Alexander Haig on their living room wall will be shot. Cameras and surveillance equipment will be posted on all lampposts and streetlights. Anyone failing to attend required worship services on Sunday will be promptly arrested and dispatched to a re-education resort. Stay in your homes. Remain calm. The number one enemy of progress is questions. National security is more important than individual will. All sports broadcasts will proceed as normal. No more than 2 people may gather anywhere without permission. Use only the drugs prescribed by your boss or supervisor. Shut up! Be happy. Obey all orders without question. The comfort you've demanded is now mandatory. Be happy. At last, everything is done for you.
There is a warning on the album cover explaining the fold-out may be offensive to some people. Still, the Los Angeles city attorney says that's not enough.
I think that this is a cost-effective way of sending out the message to those people who wish to profiteer off the distribution of harmful matter to minors, that we're not going to look the other way and that we're going to prosecute.
Ladies, gentlemen, and potato chip bags, good afternoon, and welcome to the Mild Kingdom, where each week we take you around the world for a close-up armchair look at the wild world of animals. We show you lions we borrowed from a zoo, savagely stalk and attack their prey that we tied down ahead of time to ensure a good camera angle. We take you Disney style to the white wilderness of the far north. You are there when it's Jonestown season for nature's fascinating lemmings. The same ones we bought earlier from Eskimo children and transported 1,000 miles away so we could film their migration scene accurately on a revolving snow-covered turntable. But when we got them to the edge of the cliff, those lemmings wouldn't cooperate. So our crew just picked them up and threw them over the edge and into the river below. Over they go, says the narrator, casting themselves bodily into space. The Arctic Sea is dotted with tiny, bobbing bodies. Besides those endless insurance commercials, we have a special treat for you today here on the Mild Kingdom. A fantastic voyage deep into the heart of the jungles of darkest Lebanon, where our camera zeroes in on an innocent fawn out by the airport near Beirut. Hey! Yo! We're the United States Marines. Now, we know how you've all been killing each other for at least 2,000 years, but we're here now. So, stop all this fighting, okay? And, you know, like magic, all your generations of hatred will simply go away. Dude, we're talking national security here. We're here to protect the family of Christian heroin warlords, most friendly to the West. So, come on, knock off all this fighting and stuff, you hear? Or we'll tell Mom. After a trash bag commercial, we take you to a cold gray hangar to watch our honest president pretend to mourn 200 brave young men who were shipped home from Beirut, gift wrapped in hefty brand corpse bags, blown to bits by another goddamn truck bomb. But we knew they were sitting ducks. We sacrificed them Aztec style so we could use their dead meat as food for war fever right here at home. Tied them all down perfectly like prey for the lions from the zoo. Kaboom! Look who did it! Those dirty Arabs did it, man! Let's go get them! Let's go get them! Let's go get them! Fan the bonfires of racism! Get people hot and boiling for revenge in their living rooms! Then we can go play shoot 'em up anywhere we choose. Libya, Nicaragua. Now our backers can cash in without the public asking a lot of questions. Well, we've run out of time for this week. We hope you enjoyed our little adventure. We hope to brainwash you again soon with all the accuracy you've come to expect from life in the mild kingdom.
Good morning, this is Nightcall and you're on the air.
I think they should have record labeling because I know kids do listen to that and take it very seriously.
Well, you know what Lenny Bruce said? He said that adults don't want kids to look at pornography because they're afraid they'll grow up and do the same thing.
Yeah, you know, my boyfriend's kids, they were into this devil stuff from listening to Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath.
Yeah?
That's funny. I grew up on Black Sabbath records, and I never got into the devil
stuff.
Well,
they were in this barn, and they were killing cats and writing all over the wall with it.
Do you really think that's a product of a record alone, or do you think it's a product of their surroundings?
This is the country, you know. These are supposed to be nice country kids, you know. But,
well, the more you try to mold somebody into a nice country kid, the more there's going to be something boiling inside. I've known people who've done real ugly things to animals as well, and it had nothing to do with what they heard on a record album.
Well,
I don't think there's any songs on an Ozzy record or a Black Sabbath record that are ordering kids to go out and kill animals. I think it's something they do on their own because there's been a lot of other things going into their minds over the years. Television, for example, that desensitizes them to the pain of other living things.
Vietnam never happened! Vietnam never happened amusement park is now pulled over our eyes with fun for the entire family. Thrill to Buddhist priests who set themselves on fire at noon. Be a part of the action at Kent State and show those demonstrators who's boss in our revolving Dirty Harry go-round. Then it's on to the defense industry kickback bumper cars. Go ahead, blow them up! We'll just replace them at 20 times the price. Then unwind with your favorite hard drugs in our fabulous indoor shooting gallery. Who's that knocking outside? Is it the cops or is it Memorex? Play miniature golf with live grenades. Our Peace with Honor roller coaster will destroy you in order to save you. The kids, they'll love our petting zoo, where you can feed overpriced McDonald Land cookies to our pen full of children deformed by Agent Orange. Then, if you're really brave, how about the haunted house of Frank Nugan in the sky of Siam, where you'll feel what it's like as you're sealed in a warm body bag while CIA operatives slit your stomach open to stuff you full of heroin baggies to send home to mother. Is that getting a bit much? Just go quietly where we want you, to our video arcade. When you come out 3 days later, pick a prize from the pet shop, a mixed blood orphan left behind by some fun-loving Yankee soldier. Consolation prize, a year's supply of blank draft notices. Just fill in the names of your friends and your enemies and give them their surprise of their life by mail. They'll go quietly. You'll see. Vietnam never happened. What Reagan didn't know. Iran. Iran Gate. Contragate. North Scam. Iranamuck. Here we go again with the best present we've received in a long, long time. Your friend and mine, Grandpa Caligula, the Gipper. Boy, is he shitting Teflon bricks now. The great communicator now calls reporters sons of bitches. Caught with his greedy, scaly hands in the genocide cookie jar. Hiding arms deals from his own army. Relying on a compulsive liar, a 5-star colonel, to make secret foreign policy in his cubicle in the White House basement. The moral equivalent of our founding fathers, the Contras, got their cash to go around killing doctors, teachers, women, children from mafia-style Swiss bank accounts and less widely reported cocaine deals. Can you imagine the look on poor Nancy's face if they proved that Ronnie's so-called freedom fighters were the ones bringing in those drugs for our children? This is the greatest soap opera going. Not even Get Smart has so many hilarious surprises. Speaking of Get Smart, have you noticed how much Maxwell Smart looks like Robert McFarlane? And isn't George Schultz a little too perfect in his role as the chief? Moaning at his desk, one disaster after another created by his finest secret agents. Oh, Mac, now look what you've done. You can't die from ODing on Valium. That darn fool kid. Reagan Daffy, the flaky fanatic, the only wheeler-dealer in the whole Mideastern poker game who is so bad, he makes Jimmy Carter look like he knew what he was doing. We will never give in to terrorists. We will never pay ransom for hostages. Oh no, not us. Keep in mind, he could have had all those hostages back for a cool $1 million. But what does he do? He gives the Ayatollah of all people $30 million, and in exchange, he doesn't get the hostages back, not all of them. What a genius! What a deal! What a guy! Don't you wish you had him on your side, doing his best on your behalf? Don't you wish you had him to depend on next time you get caught in a small emergency like being kidnapped? And what does he do when his B-movie game is up? He freaks out and stonewalls, just like Nixon. No surprise, really, when you look around and see how many seasoned Watergate criminals have been up to their old tricks since Reagan gave them their new jobs in the White House and in his cabinet. Just like Nixon. He blames it all on the press. Somehow it's the fault of the media that his pet terrorists got caught. Sure, he says mistakes were made, but he has yet to say he was sorry. He says, I know my people did nothing wrong, even though I didn't know what they'd been up to. It was all done behind my back. It was all done behind my ever so willing asshole. Honest, I didn't know. Would I lie to you? Maybe. Maybe he really didn't know. It wouldn't be the first time he didn't know the obvious, now would it? Who says the great communicator ever once bothered to proofread his own script? He almost so much as admits he doesn't care. For a president of the United States, it's amazing all the things over the years he didn't know. It's almost as if he grew up watching television. For example, how many of you know that there is a token black person in Reagan's cabinet? HUD Secretary Samuel Pierce. He's been there ever since the beginning, but you just never hear about him, do you? Apparently, Reagan didn't know about him either. When he ran into him 6 months after Pierce started on the job at a meeting of big city mayors and said, "How are you, Mr. Mayor? I'm glad to meet you. How are things in your city?" When he was visiting Brazil, he didn't know what country he was in and called for a toast to the people of Bolivia. He then quickly covered for himself by saying, oh, Bolivia was the next stop on his Latin American trip, but he was actually going to Colombia and wasn't scheduled to visit Bolivia at all. When he was in Oklahoma campaigning for the re-election of Senator Don Nichols, he urged everyone out there to be sure and go vote for Don Rickles. What he didn't know about South Africa, his definition of apartheid live on national radio was that South Africans have eliminated the segregation we once had in our own country. Last time he unveiled his budget, he said we will be spending more money than ever before to combat the use of drugs. What he didn't know was his own budget called for less. What he didn't know about the Jews in Nazi Germany when he said, after visiting Bitburg and the cemetery with all them stormtrooper skeletons down below, he said that Nazi soldiers were victims just as surely as the victims in the concentration camps. Some people got a little bit unamused. So he said, oh yes, I know all the bad things that happened in that war. I was in uniform for 4 years myself. What he didn't know was World War II took place in Europe and in the South Pacific, not in the first motion picture unit of the Army Air Corps at Hal Roach Studios in Hollywood. He said missiles launched from submarines can be recalled in event that it's a false alarm for nuclear war. What he didn't know is they can't be recalled. When asked if he'd be visiting the Vietnam War Memorial, he said, I can't tell until somebody tells me. I never know where I'm going. So, the question remains, is our buddy Ronald McReagan really in the dark? Really just an absent-minded bozo along for the ride? Or does his real evil lie elsewhere? Is this talking Gila monster with a pompadour so conniving that he knows his real role and purpose as an actor and plays it anyway? Just smile. Read the cue cards, Ronnie. Now talk assuredly and soothe the people. It's your job to soften the blow of corporate martial law. Get them to like the taste of high-tech feudalism that the powers behind the scenes who pull your strings have in mind. People unemployed and starving, just tell them how we whooped them in Grenada. Tell them the one about the welfare mother who spent her food stamps on vodka. When someone cries atrocities, just smile and say, I'm a contra too. And somehow, that'll make the atrocities okay. Just wait and see. They'll believe it. Because corporate martial law must come so quietly in this country that people won't even smell it. Watergate was sloppy. A Marcos-style coming to visit and deciding to stay wouldn't quite work here. This clampdown must be eased in slowly over 30 or 40 years, so hardly anyone will notice what's going on as our rights are being systematically whittled away. At least not lift an eyebrow as long as the price is right. And the last 5 or 10 years of the onset of corporate martial law won't be quite so difficult with the right actor in the right place, playing the right role for the fans. The chipper grandfather we all kind of wish we had. Grandpa Caligula. See him smile and wave as he trots off with Nancy for another holiday at the ranch. Now, if he really didn't know about all his elves playing Rambo that are still getting away with murder, check this out. There's a book out now called Dark Victory, Reagan, MCA, and the Mob, published by Viking Press. Its author is Don Moldia. Where it is written, in the 1950s, MCA made this little deal with the Screen Actors Guild, that's the Actors Union, an exclusive, what they called a blanket waiver that would make MCA billions of dollars. It was rigged so only MCA could act as agent to its own stars. MCA alone was somehow exempt from a coming actors' strike. And at that time, the president of the Screen Actors Guild was guess who? Ronald Reagan. He made the deal. His reward from MCA as his career began to peter out was to be named host of the long-running GE television theater. Then later on, MCA gave him 25% of the whole program, and overnight he was on his way to being a multi-millionaire. Then, in 1962, a grand jury called in Ronald McReagan, wanted to have a few words with Ronald McReagan, asked him if these deals he made, weren't they a little corrupt? And Reagan, professional actor, suddenly acted confused and replied, almost as if on cue, clear back in '62, that he, the president of the Screen Actors Guild, didn't know what was going on. Sound familiar? Another commercial I found a while back, first on an airline flight magazine, then in the San Francisco Chronicle, and now they're running this ad in places like travel magazines that kids aren't likely to leaf through, like Sunset or something like that. What we have here is kind of a Maria McKee look-alike with shorter hair that's appropriately mussed up for MTV. We have a
old high school leather jacket on, and she has an angry look on her face. Facially, she kind of looks like she might be 28, 30 years old, had her jaw fixed and a nose job to look like Margot Hemingway. And it says above the model, "Julie's 14 and headed nowhere. What's next?" Julie is 14, unmotivated, angry, and rebellious. She is failing in school and associating with undesirable friends. She is unresponsive to parental guidance. They don't know where to turn for help. If you have a daughter like Julie, there is an answer. The parents of girls and boys with difficult problems need special help. The Heritage School in Provo, Utah will deal with manipulation, teach responsibility, motivate, and change rebellious behavior. They even have an 800 number to prove it. There's several of these schools kicking around all over. There's Baptist Bible camps in the South down lonely roads, so nobody ever looks what's going on there. One person I know, he was kidnapped by two plainclothes people from a BART, rapid transit train station, and put on a commercial airliner and taken to Utah. He wasn't released for 2 years. He also told me that some of the other people there had been sent from places like Beverly Hills, and their crime was bad grades. This is for him, and it's called "May All Your Dreams Be Wonderful." Something's wrong with you. You hate us. You're so mixed up and weird. A danky old maid on Phil Donahue confirmed our fears. It's that devil rock music you and your friends listen to. She says a drug-happy shrink or military school will fix you. Our dime store books on problem families say it's true. You say you want respect. What you need is discipline. First, we got the Punk and Heavy Metal Handbook from the Back and Control Training Center in Fullerton. We learned what you were up to. We learned you could be a hardcore punk, a skinhead punk, a skate punk, a peace punk, a suicidal punk, an occult punk, or a pop punk, or a weirdo. And we learned signs of occult behavior include black t-shirts. That Raiders jersey has to go. Those high-top tennis shoes you wear at basketball practice, those too. Get them out of here, it says so. Right in this well-researched manual put together by 2 probation officers in Orange County for Back and Control Training Center. This is real. This thing is real, and judges force kids to go here. We know about occult animals and colors. They list here cat, donkey, eagle, our national symbol, frog. Turn off the Muppet Show right now. Silver is the occult metal. That's why we eat with plastic picnic forks now. So, we're following their rules to de-punk and de-metal in the family. Do not dress in any style that represents punk or heavy metal. Do not wear hair dyed or cut in any style that represents punk rock or heavy metal. Do not associate with punk rockers. Do not wear punk or rock or heavy metal accessories. Obtain permission to be out of the home and keep parents informed of whereabouts at all times. It says here, if you don't go to class, we'll just follow you to class. Do not wear your hair in any fashion that will be disruptive to fellow classmates. Do not wear any jewelry that could cause disturbance or conflict among students. Signs of occult graffiti. Occult graffiti, this is a quote now, is frequently placed underground, under bridges, in flood control channels, and under freeway overpasses. Why? To be closer to hell and the devil. If you can't afford a ladder when you go spray painting at age 16, it's the devil's fault. Just ask the experts. Ask the experts. Among the symbols of the occult, they have, of course, the Aussie logo. They have a peace symbol. We say bring back the peace symbol, but the experts here say it's a broken cross upside down with arms broken to mock Christianity. Another occult symbol they list here is the Jewish Star of David. Yes. Yeah, yes way, there it is, right there in the manual. And below that, you ever see Wide World of Sports Absurdities where they have University of Texas against the Arkansas Razorbacks with all their fans with their how about them hog shirts and stuff? You'll notice the Texas fans all go hook 'em horns. Horns of the devil. Two fingers up is a denial of the Trinity. 3 fingers down with gesture means 666. May all your dreams be wonderful, Act 2. You say you want respect? What you need is discipline. So we're shipping you off to a private barbed wire reform school that's exempt from prison regulations because it masquerades as an educational concentration camp. 20 grand a year is a small price to pay to avoid talking straight with our kids. May all your dreams be wonderful at prison camp, honey dear. We're destroying you just to save you, so you'll even like living here. Once the beaver, always the beaver. And don't forget to write. Welcome to Provo Canyon, you little asshole. We're going to be seeing a lot of each other. Now, go to that room where these big dudes are and put on these orange pajamas right now. And then sit still and be totally silent and do that every day for 1 whole week. While the big dudes stand and watch you. Submit and behave, and then you can move on to your hours. 250 hours standing perfectly still, silently in our pale white room, or else. 1 wrong move and it's the lie detector again, and another trip to solitary in our 4x4 foot cell. The only TV you get here, Jack, is church programs on Sunday. We won't even let you think what you want. We won't even let you think what you want. May all your dreams be wonderful, Act 3. See that cute, darling kid in the 3rd grade picture? That's our child. That's what he'll be like when he comes home from reform school, rewired and cured. I'll bet he'll finally learn to get his own Pepsi. Once the beaver, always the beaver. 20 grand a year is a small price to pay to avoid talking straight with our kids. And now, you've come home calm as a zombie. A model student in school. You've learned to like desks and let us pick your friends. Your old pals say you've come back home a broken shell. But you'll thank us for all this one day, we know. Bet you'll send your own kids there when they steal your favorite handgun. We're so glad you're not a person anymore, just a good citizen. We like you better as our rugby shirt pet. We like you better when you're easy to use. Once the beaver, always the beaver. 20 grand a year is a small price to pay to avoid talking straight with our kids.
Owens. Thank you very much, Ron. Good morning to you, gentlemen. I'm not being impertinent or disrespectful, but I do have a question for your guest, and I'm terribly shocked that he's given so much airtime for this. Has he ever had a psychiatric evaluation?
My father was a psychiatric social worker for several years, so in some ways he got to know me very well. In other ways, it was a classic example of parent and child lack of communication.
Well, that would certainly create a problem in a young mind for sure, especially if nothing was ever done about it in the later years.
Let me define a problem in a young mind, and what gives you the right to mess with other people's heads?
Well, you're doing exactly the same thing, only in a much more deleterious fashion, because your exposure is worldwide, countrywide, if not international. And I think it is dreadful. I know we can switch around all kinds of statistics to our own convenience, but I do know for a fact, and you probably are aware of this fact also, that there are over 1 million young girls that are pregnant and unmarried in this country every year, not just once in a while.
And what on earth does that have to do with our music? We aren't promoting sexism. We aren't degrading either sex.
On an album that you stated earlier in the program, stating that there were 10 different sexual positions on your album.
I didn't say that.
No, that's what the LA City attorney said.
Well then, I'm sorry, but at least it has been stated. I'm not imagining things.
Oh, yes, you are. You're assuming I'm guilty until proven innocent, which is the exact opposite of what the Constitution says.
That's quite right, and I'll certainly concur with you on that, but I also am in that same predicament. I was diagnosed manic depressive 6 years ago, and that is a label that is not on my forehead, nor is it tattooed anywhere on my body, but it somehow or other is either indicative in my behavior or whatever, but that has been held against me, plus the fact I was born way back in 1920.
Dateline Dallas. A home drug testing kit, soon to be on the market, costing $24.95, will allow parents to check up on their children and seeing if they've been using any pot, cocaine, angel dust, or Valium. The product, called Aware, includes a plastic specimen bottle, disclosure form, and a mailing label. Now, if you can somehow pull your kid's pants down and get them to pee in a jar without being hauled in for child abuse, you can then mail the urine sample to the American Institute for Drug Detection, and they'll mail back the test results 10 days later, guaranteed. The company says they hope to sell 100,000 of the drug testing kits in the first year and plan to place ads in magazines that cater to women with children. Quote, "We're going to take it to drug and grocery store chains. We hope it will be put in their health and beauty aids section." So here we go again, don't we? Yet another round of dun dun dun, the drug crisis. Dun da da, dun da dun da da, dun da da, dun da dun da da. Dead basketball stars. Da dun da da. Mike Hammer in the slammer. Da dun da da. Everywhere you look. Da dun da da. It's drugs. One of those carefully planned, ever-handy smoke screens of hysteria only an economic crisis or an election year could love. Forget the economy and who's looting us and why. Drugs! Forget the next Vietnam splashed in front of our noses like a splatter movie by the CIA's death squad buddies in Nicaragua. Drugs! Teen suicide? That's already dead. This season's ready-to-wear paranoia scam, sure enough, is drugs! Last year, it was terrorism. Remember terrorism. Don't go into the watch
Riding Hood, you might meet a terrorist. They're everywhere. I know. I can feel it. Can't you? That was last spring. But now we're moving right back once again to drugs! Drugs! They're creeping through the walls of your homes. Drugs are all Nancy Reagan talks about when she gets a little tipsy at those Shishi Washington parties. The clouds are on. School bus drivers are on. God is on. Even narcs are on. Call the Army, call the Navy, call Tom Cruise and Sylvester Stallone. We must protect our borders. Drug abuse is on the rise, even though when you actually look at the statistics, they say that it is not. But how else could you get people to piss in a jar without anybody even asking if their rights are being molested? Are there any seniors here tonight? Any of you run into any of them recruiters from corporations who come onto campus and, come work for us? Ask them if they'll make you pee in a jar. And if they say yes, you can just say no. Wake up! We're talking violation here. 1984 has come to mean your piss is our business. Who cares if the over-the-counter drugs you're taking for nerves because you're so afraid of having to pee in a jar in front of the boss winds up testing positive for heroin in some freaky mail-away lab down in Texas. Either way, you know what's coming next. Mr. Vader would like to see you in his office.
The computer says you're a junkie. You're fired. Go away.
Imagine having that hanging over you like a cloud through your entire working life. What better way than through that kind of fear to finally break the workforce of this liberal illusion that they're somehow entitled to dignity and rights? Why are we putting up with all this? Maybe it's safe if you're still in school, but as the old saying goes, if you like school, you'll love work. Why are we putting up with all this? We're just dropping our pants and letting it happen. Nothing I can do about it. Looks like I have no choice. I'll get used to it after a while, I guess. Kind of like getting used to death camps in Nazi Germany. You know, just hold your nose while they barbecue the bodies, go rent a few videos for the night, and everything will be okay as long as it doesn't happen to you. But here, a little drug scare hype is all it takes to make us like it. Your sports heroes do it, you can too. Luckily, there are a few people out there in the wilderness who are just saying no to this Rehnquist wet dream, pouring Drano in their urine samples, substituting someone else's carefully clean specimen for their own just to sabotage their own test results. Personnel managers are disappointed. Tisk, tisk. You can tell where this is going, right? This latest crackdown on what's left of our right to privacy is enough to make old-fashioned human rights junkies like me piss in their pants, right? Wrong! Urinalysis is freedom! Because I've found a way to cash in. I don't drink too often. For the most part, these drugs bore me. And I was brought up, like the rest of us, to believe in the land of opportunity. So I got to thinking, yeah, my pee-pee is worth more than gold. From now on, when my bladder alarm starts to tinkle, I'll be ready to capture every last drop. No self-storage space is big enough for me. And when I'm ready to deal from a position of strength, I'm gonna pull up in a black van right in front of the big old bank downtown. Slide the side door part way open. Hey, you, come here, come here. I know my prey. They need me. I'm just providing a service, right? And if I don't, someone else will. Come here, come here, come here. You, come here. See what I got in my hand? I got a whole truckload of crack-sized vials of guaranteed drug-free wee-wee. Not so fast, brother. I want $50 a pop, and you know you're gonna give it to me. After all, it's only your job. In no time, I'll have enough to bribe any judge in New Jersey I want. 2 Swiss bank accounts in every one of my garages, built not from cocaine, but from cocaine hysteria. And I'll still have enough time to use my Swiss bank accounts to launder more blood money for the Contras. After all, every kind of prohibition just creates another underworld. And this time, that underworld just happens to be me. But if we're all gonna squat down and piss on demand for Big Brother, let's at least play fair, okay? In Japan, you can now buy a drug, I think it's called, or pronounced, perfusamine. A simple, over-the-counter test designed to show if someone you know is going senile. Now, if Reagan, George Shultz, George Bush, and let's not forget that late, lamented, yowling potato chip of a CIA director we had, the one who distinguished himself by falling asleep at strategy meetings, but still had time to slip those murder manuals to the Contras. If they'd agree to take this senility test once a week on primetime TV, let Vanna turn the letterings, yes or no, maybe the rest of us could finally get some sleep. Names for bands. Every once in a while, somebody will come up to me and ask me to come up with a name for their band. I'm tired of all those other names. Think of something good. I mean, theoretically, that would be the job of the people in the band, but here we are brought up by television and our teachers to be spectators, so every damn time I still draw a blank. But lately, I've been writing them down. After all, when you think about it, it's a great way to meet people when you're new in town. Just like carrying extra matches or cigarettes for people to bum. You're new in town, go to a party, hey, got a pen I can borrow? Oh, carry 20. Me, I carry band names. People need them too. I mean, how many times have you heard the same old cliche band names over and over and over again? Pick a formula, any formula. The Lone Cowboys, Leather Wolf, Night Ranger, Gypsy Blue, Big River. I mean, the first to start with a good, through this one for heavy metal. Granted, it's the most conservative of all loud rock music. No gym teacher could get as many people to dress alike. But there's still room for a good concept. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to rock? Would you please welcome live from global corporate headquarters this week's heavy metal sensation, Mondale! Picture it flashing on and off in gleamy, silvery Old English lettering that they all use now. Mondale! 20 feet tall in a big basketball arena, just swarming with all them zombie-like fans, all lighting their matches and shaking their fists at the band, just like those people sieg-heiling Adolf Hitler in the Nazi propaganda films, with these 5 Walter Mondales all kicking ass on the stage, all in their blue business suits, wrapped in bullet belts, Viking helmets. Maybe the singer could have a flaming tie and a paste-on Frank Frazetta mustache. Mondale! He would have made a great heavy metal hero. You know, everybody sing along one time. Lane Kirkland rules me, yeah, yeah, yeah. Half the guys in Deep Purple look just like Walter Mondale now. Or how about one of those new age audio sedative packages with a mellow sunset on the cover, or maybe a Roger Dean Fantasy Poo painting or something, or that swirly progressive rock lettering at the top, or that Windham Hill software typesetting. Either way, new age tranquility. Earth fart. Imagine all the images you could drill into people's minds if you called your band The Dentists. Or, ready? Electric meat. Pink meat. Anchovy smegma. Food beat. Black lung. Conqueror worm. My sweet slaughterhouse. Pets eat their master. Or how about hunk? Tits, ass, and money. Absentee thought lords. Criminal spa. Peeping Tom Collins. Chocolate fetus. The marching taboos. Tiger lard. Clown feast. The janitors of anarchy. Lost orgasm. Root canal. Video sex pope. Facelift in a jar. Cancer cures everything. South Africa. John Wayne on acid. Jehovah's rifle cream. Overkill for breakfast, or the Ku Klux Flintstones. Uranium playpen. Crushed velvet vivisection. Dracula was gay. Air guitar. The Manson Surfers. We're So Pure. Bank of Sodom. Motor Sheep. Velvet Volcano. The Screwworm Flies. This list could go on all night. So why be the 35th band in a row to call yourselves Bad Attitude, Dark Angel, or the LA Guns, when you could storm the globe as the Imperial Turd Sickles, conquer MTV as Primer Gray Erection, or live at the Ritz, exclusive East Coast appearance Failure. Or this summer, Madison Square Garden, MSG. Tickets $20 in advance, $120 at the door. Fraud! And if you really want to get under people's skin and make them think, forget dead Kennedys. That's already been done. Take a grainy photo of your friend and mine, Ronald McReagan, and use that for the front cover of the album. title the record, Lest We Forget. Then nail 'em where it counts with the name of the band, Lest We Forget by 6 Million Jews.